Okay, welcome to today's lesson. I'm sure you still remember what we looked at last time when we looked at the um, organs of the respiratory system. Today we're going to look at the functions of organs of the respiratory system. So when looking at the functions of organs of the respiratory system, basically we look at the movement of air into and out of the body. So first of all, if we can still remember the parts, I'm sure you are able to identify this part as one's nose, and that is the mouth, and then this being the trachea there, and then we have these two branches there, which are collectively known as the bronchi, and then we have these small pipes there or tubes, which are called the bronchioles, and then this other one there, a single one known as the air sac or alveolus, and then all of them collectively known as the alveoli. So now I'm sure you can also remember that we had the ribs there, and then intercostal muscles also found between the ribs there. So first of all, we need to understand that air passes from the nose, which is this point there, into the trachea there. So first of all, the nose ensures that this air which will enter there is filtered because it has hairs in it. And then all the dust particles are trapped there. And then once that is done, it ensures that the air that is going to go down into the trachea there is warmed up as well as moistened there. So once that is done, the air will move into the trachea there. But alternatively, the mouth also can serve as an inlet for air into the body there. So either the mouth or the nose, air can still go, and then once that has taken place, you are going to find that the air is going to now move down to the two branches there, which we call the bronchi, singular the bronchus there. So if we have this one there, it's the bronchus there, and then I'm sure you can tell that this is a lung there, and then this other side we have a lung, and then this lung has been opened up. So from the bronchus there, it will branch to the bronchus there. So from there, it will now eventually lead to the alveolus or the air sac. So you will find that almost all these parts perform the same function, but they are interconnected. So you should know that the trachea will get the air from the nose and then take it to the bronchus there if you are breathing in. But if you're breathing out, it's the other way around. It's going to take air from the bronchus and then it will take it to the nose there so that it's expired there. So now you should also take a critical look at the diagram that has been presented to you. There are features which I haven't included there. In the previous work that you were given, you observed that I had given you other parts which were well labeled there, like the epiglottis there. Apart from that, you also had parts like the pharynx and the larynx there are also labeled there. So you need to know that these parts, like for example the pharynx cavity, which is found somewhere there. In other words, it's known as the throat. It ensures that it regulates the amount of air which goes into the trachea there. And then apart from that, the epiglottis is usually found somewhere there. This part there ensures that it flips or closes the trachea when you are swallowing food, so that no particles go into the trachea there. So if any food particle goes into the trachea there, it will make someone choke, and eventually you observe that that particular person will be coughing, and eventually whatever particle is there is going to be ejected out. And then apart from that, you find that when we say the Renix part there is also found at this region, and in other words, it's known as the voice box there. It is responsible for the production of voice chords there. And then if we look further, we have the ribs there. They've been cut, otherwise they will be crossing. If it was a three-dimensional diagram, they would be crossing like that. So this section there, or these oval shaped shapes you're seeing there, are representing the ribs. And you need to know that, first of all, the ribs protect the lungs. So they are like a casing there which protect the lungs there. And then the muscles between the ribs there, which are known as the intercostal muscles, ensure that they help in the contraction and relaxation of this rib cage there. So they work together with the diaphragm there. So we'll look at their functions later on when we'll be looking at inhalation and expiration in detail. So let us try to review. We're saying that the nose ensures that, first of all, it allows air to go into the body, and its main function is to ensure that all the dust is filtered out, the air is moistened or warmed up as well there, and then eventually, once that is done, it will lead that air to the trachea there. But we need to also take note that the mouth can also allow air to go into the body there. But one of the disadvantages is that the air that will go through the mouth is not filtered. Hence, that's the greatest disadvantage, and that's why you find that in most cases you are discouraged to breathe through the mouth. So once that has been done, the air is now going to go to the bronchi, both, if one say the bronchus there, and then eventually go to the bronchus there, and then from the bronchus air will go to the alveolus, or in plural, the alveoli there. So in this region, that's where we have what is known as gaseous exchange. And then when we'll be looking at the gaseous exchange in man, we will look at this part specifically. So for today, I wanted you to look at the functions of these parts which have been highlighted there, which I believe you managed to label from the previous lesson, and then we can consolidate from that. So I have an activity for you. Feel free to ask questions where you're not clear. Thank you.